Welcome to the Lifting Lounge podcast. Join your hosts, Josh Parkin and Jack Buffery, as they give you the knowledge and the tools to take your physical and mental performance to the next level.
Hello.
Hi. I was just literally swearing at cockerels. How are you?
I'm good, man. Good morning. Nope, fuck off. It's not even a morning.
Yeah, it's like 20 to 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It's been a long day for me and Josh separately, but it's been a long day. I think we had a client in the same gym this morning, but other than that, we've both been in our separate gyms and separate just busyings, and it's been a busy morning. But we're here. Josh, just curious, do you think you're better than me?
No, I don't think anything. I only know.
Oh, right, okay. You know, because I didn't. It's the first thing I noticed, but I thought I'd wait till we're recording before I picked it up. Yeah. Josh has named himself as the better host on the on the recorded thing. That won't actually show up on the video I put on YouTube. And look, it's okay. I get why you have to peacock like that, because we all have those insecurities, all right?
Yeah. Sure.
Dear. I'll tell you what, I completely forget we're recording this on YouTube as well. I have to remind myself that the video is going out. I'm going to try not to scratch my balls or anything. But
yeah, you got to pretend like you're interested. That's the hardest thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
Just make sure I won't scroll on my phone. I'm just going to move that over there a little
bit. Brilliant. So, Jack,
go on.
Tell people about our Facebook group.
Audience, we have a Facebook group.
Yeah, buddy.
the Facebook group, though, to be fair, is getting good. And again, I know we sound like a broken record because we're saying this every time, but it's true, because every time we are working on this, and that is bringing you more value. Last night we done a live training, and when I say last night, there will actually be another one tonight as of the day that this episode goes out. But the week ago from the release of this, we just done one on managing stress levels. It was a great one. There was some interaction, differing levels of seriousness with the interaction, which is quite entertaining. But yeah, we want to just bring live trainings. We want to give value to you guys, and we want to try to speak to you and meet you where you're at. So if you guys have anything you want us to specifically talk about, then please feel free to just comment in the group and ask us, cover this, and we'll happily do it. But that's what it's all about, man. It's about building that community that can communicate with us and each other whilst getting their own head straight on the things that they want to know about. Because if we can help you push forward, that's the reason we became PTs, to be able to do that for you guys.
Exactly that. Yeah, it's definitely picking up more. We're adding more stuff to it. The more we get organized, the more we get doing stuff. Free training every week, which is brilliant. Free information giveaways. And it's just a place for you to interact, hang out with like-minded people who are into training and maybe have a bit of a geek thing going on. So come and join us.
Oh yeah, we love it. Maybe we should do a training on like an actual geek subject one day. How to complete a temple on Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh yeah, easy.
Easy. Excuse me, Josh. Why don't you tell them about the other thing that we offer?
So the other thing that we offer, our baby, is the RDA system. So the RDA system is our online training. Currently, we are offering one-to-one online training. We cover everything from training to lifestyle to nutrition, all your habits, all of that sort of stuff. We can help you track your habits, improve your habits. And what our aim is to implement the RDA system, which you have heard many times in this podcast. So your results, your drivers, your actions, we implement that into your life so we can take you from where you are now to where you want to be, and put that in with your schedule, work it around your life so you can still have a life, but also improve your life at the same time.
Yeah, and that is really the key thing. Like, you see these programs thrown out randomly on the internet, and they look cool as fuck, and you're like, yes, I really want to do that. But the likelihood of people being able to stick to those sorts of things, it dwindles with every day that goes by because there's no accountability. It's all the same stuff, and usually it's like an insane amount of time every day of the week, and realistically, most people can't commit to that whilst trying to focus on the other big rocks that really matter, because it's not just working out, ladies and gentlemen, it's also nutrition and lifestyle factors that make some of the biggest differences in this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we want to make sure we're looking at everything as a whole, not just approaching your training, approaching your whole life. But yeah, so it's live. We've already got a few clients now. We're onboarding, we're getting people in, we're making difference. So if you want to be a part of that, come along, join us.
So Josh, tell me, what happens when you introduce a tip to a snatch? and it involves a good grip as well.
Oh dear. Oh my god. Well, when you're in it helps you lift the dead.
What the fuck?
Oh my god. These get better every time.
I don't know whether, again, I'm using our Arkansas listener now, who we are now familiar with because she left a message on our Facebook group. I don't know if you're familiar what the English euphemism means when we say snatch, but you can probably work it out just by the way we talked about it. So all the Brits know exactly what it is. I don't know if it's a thing in the States or not.
Yeah.
But you've probably got the idea.
Yeah, Google it. So
oh, we've got someone from Texas as well, by the way. I just wanted to let you know. But yeah,
have we?
Carry on.
Oh my god.
We did, yeah. There's been a couple of downloads, unless that was our Arkansas listener on holiday in Texas, and it just so happened to download from there. Who knows? I'm going to assume we've got another American.
It's obviously Joe Rogan listening to us from Texas. So
100%.
So
competition, see.
My tip for today is if you want a stronger back for deadlifts, then try snatch grip deadlifts. Now, if you don't know what snatch grip is a wider grip. So if you see Olympic lifting, in the weightlifting, they do a clean and jerk, and then they do a snatch as one of the lists in Olympic lifting, where the arms are much wider, and it goes all the way up. So snatch grip deadlift is just a standard deadlift, but having the arms much wider. What this does is it makes you have to use your upper back way more when deadlifting. And then you won't be able to go as heavy as you would do with a normal deadlift, but it will improve your back strength. So when you come to do your deadlifts, it's way, way stronger and stays more solid. A good one to also do, actually, is snatch grip rack pulls if you want to really up the weight as well.
Yeah, and it's just because basically you've got to create more tension in and around the shoulder and shoulder blades and the spine as you're keeping that bar stable. My mind instantly goes to the fact that I think I suck at snatch grip, but it's not necessarily that. It is the fact you just have to go lighter. Like you really do have to go lighter if you're doing it, especially if you're not used to it. I would be interested, though, actually. It's not something I've ever looked into to see what the difference is between someone who is proficient in both, what the difference is between their max grip for both, lift for both grips. It'd be interesting to see that. I've seen people snatch 200 kilos, though, and it just makes me insanely jealous.
Oh, man. I avoid watching Olympic weightlifters because Olympic weightlifters will be lifting a ridiculous amount of weight, and they would be only 50, 60 kilos heavy. So they'll only be 50, 60 kilos and be able to snatch over 100 kilos. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is blowing my mind.
What's that quote when it comes to lifting? Somewhere in the world, there's a 15-year-old girl warming up with your PB.
Yeah.
That is accurate. It really is accurate when it comes to Olympic lifting. They've nailed the technique so much that you get 15-year-old girls who are snatching, cleaning, all of that sort of stuff, just with ridiculous numbers, and it is insane.
Oh yeah, man, it is stupid. So if you want to get a stronger deadlift, Snatch grip deadlifts are great. It's just a wider grip and it makes you use your upper back way more. Do a stint of them and you'll see a massive difference in your deadlift.
That is cool. I love that tip, and I love a snatch. So that is good.
It is a problem.
For fuck's sake. Let's move on before I really say something bad. Okay, let's go on to a little bit of Geek Corner, Josh. What have you got for me? And I can tell you're just trying to trigger me again with the second part of this Geek Corner, but let's go on to the first part first.
I love this. I think my favorite pastime is like trying to coax Conspiracy Jack out of his shell. That's my favorite pastime. We
need to do like what about maybe we should do a version of the lifting lounge called the nightcap, where we just go into that silly shit and just talk about that, because I'd be well up for that. But go on, let's see what you got.
Right, well, so last week, and anybody that's listened to this, it'll be 2 weeks prior, but Secret Invasion came out. The first episode of Secret Invasion came out. I've actually been really looking forward to this, mainly because it kind of seemed like it had Winter Soldier-esque vibes to it. And the first episode's out. I think, like, to be honest, I'm not too worried about... If you haven't seen the first episode of Secret Invasion, go watch it now and skip this bit, and then come back and listen to it, because I don't mind going into spoilers.
We timestamp these for a reason, guys. Just skip ahead to Fit Talk if you haven't seen the first episode yet. You can always come back and listen to this later.
Yeah, so it is. I really enjoyed it. What did you think?
Yeah, I liked it, and I think it almost has got those vibes. But it reminds me, not just Winter Soldier vibes, which was kind of like almost like a more of a thrillery type thing, but it also reminded me a bit more of I want to actually say like a 70s kind of spy drama as well, not with the bad haircuts and that sort of shit, but just like the style of it, like the intrigue and the mystery around it, not having to rely too much on the action, but still having a bit of action in there as well. I definitely liked it. Strong cast as well, really strong cast. Olivia Colman, like she's just awesome to watch in most things. To be fair, she's great, and the Mother of Dragons herself as well being in it as well, which is good to see.
Yeah, Emilia Clarke. Yeah, they've got some big names in it, and it's one of those ones. So the premise is that some of the Skrulls have detached ever since the snap. Some of the Skrulls decided actually they want to create a new home for themselves. They don't want to have an allegiance with Earth anymore, and the premise is that they are disguising themselves as terrorist groups and are causing issues. And actually, watching it was kind of making me like blow my own mind, in the sense that now actually we don't know at all throughout this whole thing who's a Skrull and who's a human. So I'm like, fucking any of them could be Skrulls, any of them can be humans. So like they could throw in a twist left, right, and center in this whole fucking series. It's going to be so hard to stay on top of.
I was trying to remember what post-credit scene is it where Nick Fury and I forgot what the agent's name is, are in a car, and they're actually Skrulls, and it turns out Nick is on the ship. What film was that at the end of?
Oh,
do you remember it happening? They're like having a conversation in a car, and the post-credit scene is them actually being Skrulls. It turns out they haven't been on Earth. Or at least Nick was. I can't remember if the woman was as well, but I cannot remember which film that was. I was like, oh shit, where did that come into it?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it was at the end of Captain Marvel or not. I can't remember. I think it might have been.
No, it wasn't, because that ended with the post-credit scene on that one was him with the cat. It was definitely, unless it was, maybe it was. I might be wrong. It might have been like a mid-credit scene instead of the post-credits, but I just remember them talking in a car and it turning out that who everyone had thought was Nick Fury had actually been a Skrull for a while.
It's Spider-Man Far From Home, but the two Skrulls that it was actually Talos and his daughter. So Oh,
So the good
Talos and his
guys,
missus.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, they were the good guys.
Yeah, because
So,
I know they were covering for Nick because he was up on the spaceship. I remember them being good guys, but I couldn't remember which one it was. Okay, Spider Man, that's fine.
yeah,
That's cool.
so it's man, I have no idea. So in at the end of the episode, it looks like what's the agent called? The one that's played by the lady Robin from How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, I can't remember. I was trying to remember her name. Her name's Kobe Smulders in real life, but I cannot
Yeah.
remember what she's called in
So
the TV
at the end
program.
of the episode, this is a spoiler. She gets shot, and it looks like she's dead. Do we think she's dead?
Yeah, I reckon she is. To be honest,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I can't see her coming back from that. The only caveat with that is I don't know if you ever watched Agents of Shield. I only watched like the first season, but they bring back whatever his name is. Like he's still he comes back to life somehow. I never found out why because I never watched the whole season. But they might bring her back to life somehow. You know, it's Marvel.
Yeah.
Now time travel's a thing and all that sort of stuff. Like anyone could still be alive, so it's hard to know. But with the tone of this program, I would say she's gone.
Yeah. So it's Maria Hill. Agent Hill is the
Maria
name I
Hill,
just
yeah.
remembered. Yeah. So yeah, I think she's gone as well, and I kind of hope so because that'd be kind of cool. My wife actually thinks that Cody Rhodes, not Cody Rhodes, James Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is a WWE wrestler. I don't know where that came from. James Rhodes, she reckons Rhodey is a Skrull.
Interesting because you couldn't see any kind of leg brace at all through the trousers, and whether that's just because the technology is supposed to be that good, or whether maybe he could be a Skrull, who knows? There's a good shout. What was her reasoning for that? Was it just like a guess?
I think it was just a guess, but because we were talking about how anybody could be one, and it would make sense if he's saying that he like Nick Fury and Maria Hill's gone AWOL, and is telling the president, you know, and he's trying to maybe get the US against their own people. It kind of makes sense.
It does. That could be like a long play. It could be like a reveal at the end. If she's guessed that and that happens in the last episode, now that'll be like all hail Rachel.
Yeah, I mean, fair play to her. She does. Yeah. But yeah, so far very good. It's only 6 episodes.
Okay, cool. And when I can't remember what day is it? Wednesdays it comes out.
Yeah,
or is it?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so cool. So yeah, we're recording this on the 27th, Tuesday. So yeah, tomorrow we'll be able to watch a new episode. I'll probably watch it the weekend, to be honest. Yeah, really looking forward to that, seeing how it plays out. It's caught my interest a bit more than most other superhero stuff because it's not exactly superhero stuff. It is a bit more espionage type thing. So that's cool.
So obviously, watching this got me thinking. And with everything that's going on, and it pretty much seems like every day at the moment, we keep talking about how potentially the world's going to end. So, my question for you, Jack, is could aliens already be here?
Maybe we are aliens. Maybe we are aliens. How do we know?
Yeah.
So, I would say that that first of all, let's just set a baseline here. Do we both believe that somewhere in the universe aliens exist?
Elon Musk had a great quote about this. He says it is most likely 2 possibilities. One, that aliens exist and they know that we are here, or 2, there is no other life in the universe. And he says both are equally terrifying, which I kind of agree with. To be honest, yes, I think they do. Just judging by the sheer size of the universe, it would be kind of ridiculous if they didn't, and it was literally just us here, just fucking milling about being idiots, you know? It just wouldn't make any sense. However, it could be anything down to like a microorganism on another planet, you know, or it could be another planet so far away in the universe that they're like us, but they just don't have the technology to find us, or they already know about us and they're just fucking watching or a part of us secretly. Who knows?
So yeah, I think there's a couple of other options to explore in this one as well. But speaking of that, one of the things that made me—I remember a South Park episode. It always reminds me of it. The opening of the South Park episode. It's like in season 1, so the animation's still really shitty. It's like a spaceship that comes into it, and it looks all epic and everything, and then you see it land, and then it literally gets ran over by a bus because it's the size of like a stag beetle or something like that. The whole spaceship is. So that could happen. But the other thing is, what if they're way more advanced than us, but if they still haven't mastered either cryo sleep, like cryogenically freezing themselves with travel, or light of speed travel, the chances are they would have sent drones out as opposed to actually living on a craft. And if UFOs we have seen are legitimately alien in nature, I would say that, and I'm nicking this from people I've heard mostly off Joe Rogan podcast, to be completely honest. I would hypothesize that it is just drones with no living beings on them. That they're like scout vehicles, to be honest. And if there are UFOs, that would make more sense than an actual biological thing, unless they've found some way to travel through wormholes and space time and shit like that.
Oh, I mean, yeah, man. There's so many different theories on AI being aliens, or mushrooms are aliens, or
Octopus.
Yeah, octopus are aliens. Yeah, that's it. It could be a plethora of things. There's definitely people out there that you're like, you must be an alien. You know what I mean?
Mark Zuckerberg is one of them, definitely.
Yeah.
He's a lizard person, yeah. There are...
All right, David Icke.
Yeah, there are... I don't know. Like they very well could be. Who are we to say not? Like, at the end of the day, people still aren't 100% certain that we originated on Earth. Maybe we could have, like, even at a micro scale, like a bacterial scale, we could have come here on an asteroid, and we've just evolved since then. Does that make sense? So, like, why couldn't whatever that asteroid originated from? What if there were other asteroids from the same origin that had the same ingredients, but the atmosphere of those other planets was slightly different, so you get a slightly different mix-up. Like, it's no one really knows what it could be.
Yeah, I mean, it blows my mind, actually, when I think about just our existence in general compared to every other species on the planet. I'm like, how can, like, we consider when a monkey gets a rock and opens up something with it, we consider that to be smart, or a monkey uses a stick to poke in some holes to, like, eat some bugs. We consider that to be really smart. But yet currently, me and you are sat in a front room of a house that has been built, talking to each other on a screen via radio signals or waves or whatever it is about fucking shit that doesn't really matter. That is so, the distance between this level of, and we're not even the smartest of our species, you know what I mean? The difference of this level of intellect and comprehension and ability is so far from the smartest of every other species on the planet that it makes you think, well, maybe fuck, we are aliens. Who knows?
And look, we're using Wi-Fi and video chatting right now. This technology has been out for... Wi-Fi has been out for, like, home use for less than 20 years. I can't remember when Wi-Fi came out. So less than 20 years. Look how far we've come in 20 years, in 50 years, and 100 years. Like, if you extrapolate this out to 1,000 years' time, with all the other studies that we've talked about, with all of that shit, just compounds on top of each other. Now with AI, which, by the way, quick side note, just to say about how clever AI is, they are now testing, the FDA is now authorized human testing for a medication purely conceived by AI. I can't remember what it's for, but it was humans didn't come up with this. AI came up with the idea for this medication, and the FDA is approving it. FDA is approving human trials. So we haven't even broken like into what is potentially going to happen over the next 50 years.
Man, this is like, I can't think about it too much because my brain goes into overdrive. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, you were there yesterday. You witnessed this. I had a client yesterday. Like, this
Oh
is
my
how
God.
smart humans are in comparison to every other species, and this is why we might be aliens. Is I had a client yesterday. He's a 16-year-old kid, and he's quite smart. I mean, he's smarter than
He's a
us.
prodigy.
Yeah,
He's a prodigy. I don't say this lightly. Legitimate genius,
Mhm.
I think,
Yeah.
is probably there.
He's
Yeah.
got the potential to go places, and he teaches me like every PT session. He talks about physics while I'm training him, which is great. I get a little bit of a lesson. I feel a bit smarter when I come out of it. But this time, we figured out an equation to the speed at which somebody needs to spin in their center point. Say if your arms are meter long, the speed at which you need to spin, so then your hand reaches optimal speed to create enough force to break someone's jaw.
And that's like, honestly, I felt like I was watching something from the Big Bang Theory happen
Yeah,
on
it
the
was so
whiteboard that
funny.
he was using. It was a full-on equation, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" Like that is so far removed from what I can work out. Like I did that for me. That's almost like an alien language. So imagine there is a civilization out there that, let's just say, they evolved at exactly the same pace as us, but instead of fighting each other, they started working together at the same time. How far ahead will they be just through the nature of collaboration? I'm not even saying they're like they evolved quicker than us, just through collaboration.
Yeah.
How much further ahead would they be? And now imagine that, okay, in terms of the universe, 1,000 years is the blink of an eye. So now imagine that 1,000 years ahead. Like what we've seen in the last 2 decades is fucking insane in terms of technological growth, globalization, what we're capable of, what we think is possible as well when we think to the future now in terms of real legitimate scientists. What they think is possible is so far beyond what we thought was possible 20 years ago, sci-fi movies aside, that it's just fucking mental.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's move on from the existential crisis because we'll be talking. We could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
So let's move on to our fit talk, and I wanted to bring in a new kind of section within the fit talk, and we talk about how we have been PTs for many years, so we both have many stories from our PT times. So I'm calling this Tales from the Gym Floor. And this is actually a question I've got for you and for myself. And that's which client over your many years of training have you been the most jealous of in terms of training? So this could be like the way they approach their training or the training they're doing or the ability they have in their training. Do you have a client that you've been like, fuck, I wish I had that skill or that tenacity or that anything?
Can I go a little bit off the rails of the question a tiny bit? Because funnily enough, I was only thinking about this earlier on today. It's not necessarily in their approach to training, but it is people who have a intrinsic, innate love of outdoor activities. And don't get me wrong, I love doing shit outdoors and stuff like that, but then I really have a deep appreciation for the people who are just like, the moment they see sunshine, right, it's like, right, wicked, I'm getting a paddleboard out. All right, oh,
Yeah.
sweet, I'm going to go climbing. I'm going to go out rocking. I don't have that drilled deep enough into me to be like, straight away, that is what I'm going towards. So I really appreciate that as a thing. I wish that was innately within me. Like, that is the first thing I think, obviously, as soon as I see good weather, just mainly because of their healthy, active lifestyle that it kind of promotes. For me, and this is why I guess clients can relate to me, is because that isn't the first thing that comes to my head. Like, I have to work for my fitness and my training. I wish I was one of those natural people who are like, yeah, fucking hell, I'm just going to go out and enjoy this in the great outdoors and do all of this stuff. I do enjoy these things when I'm out doing them, but it's not necessarily the first thing that comes to my head that I prioritize above all others.
Yeah, I mean does
that count?
Yeah,
Does that count?
I'll give you
answer
that. I'll give you that. Yeah, we have a couple of clients like that. Well, one of them was in this morning, and she they have actually a son who's must be 11 years old, and he does sea kayaking, scuba diving, mountain biking. He does parkour.
Oh god, yeah,
parkour
I didn't realize
competitions.
who you were talking about.
Yeah,
then. Sorry,
yeah.
yeah. He is
It's
how old is he? 11 or something like that.
Young.
He's got the life of a legend already. And to be fair, he's cool. He's got his own Instagram account and everything, and he just it's just cool as hell.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were talking about a client you had this morning who also has a definite love of the outdoors. And we might try and get him as a guest at some point as well. But yeah, but I think for me that is it. It's just that innate appreciation for, especially where we living in Cornwall. It was funny, the other day we were watching so we just had an Armed Forces Day here, which is a big military display. It happens every year, but at different places in the country. And we were just sitting on a hill. I was looking over, and there was houses on the hill, there was trees, the sea was blue, the sky was beautiful. And I can see sometimes people refer to where we live as a place called Falmouth in Cornwall, and sometimes people refer to it as California. And that was a day I could definitely see why. And sometimes I just think I would love to take advantage of living here more and do more stuff outside.
Yeah.
But what about yourself? Where do you land in terms of this?
Well, so there's a client we have at the moment. I'm just going to call him Malcolm. I don't think you've actually ever trained him, because you're always at the other gym when he's in, and he's only a small guy, but he has just a natural ability to master bodyweight exercises. So we're training him for calisthenics at the moment. But so everybody's performed dips, yeah, but dips on parallel bars and dips on the rings are two completely different things. The dips on the rings are so much harder. And last Friday he was doing dips on the rings, which as deep as you can imagine, full depth with weight easily. And I was just like, this guy has just got that natural skill. And he also at the same time does some form of martial arts, but so he has the ability to kick up super high. It's just cool. It's just cool stuff. And he does kite surfing. So it's like you said before about the adventure kind of style of water sports. But he's doing.
I actually have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah, because I don't think you've ever trained him, because you're always somewhere else.
I'm looking at the rotor now and trying to work out who it is, and I'm just like, what? I have not got a clue.
Yeah, he trains at a Friday at 9:20. Just if you want to look. But so he's got really good skills when it comes to his training and when it comes to bodyweight exercises. Yeah,
is this the entrepreneur guy who makes things for a living? Okay, I know who you're talking about. I have, I've taken a bit. It's months and months ago. I haven't seen him in a long time. Okay, okay, cool.
So we're currently training to do a muscle up, and he's going to get one in strict muscle up as well, and he's going to get one really, really soon. Nice. And I'm a bit jealous of his innate ability to do all of this stuff. I wish I kind of had that freedom of body that he has. I mean, I'm obviously training that now, but he's just on another level, and it's cool as fuck.
Yeah, and there's definitely a thing. So, and this could be argued both ways, because there is the quote that hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, and that's the definite thing. But when you meet someone who is talented who also puts the work in, then it's just another fucking level. And it is cool to see. Most people can achieve these certain things to some degree, and it's good to see it. It is fun for us to see, but it is the curse of the PT. We see shit sometimes and we're like, oh my god, I'd love to do that. And sometimes it's enough to knock us off our course a bit of what our own plans are, and it's like, oh god, I want to pursue that thing now. So it's really good. It is a good thing to see. And the best thing is, though, it means that we appreciate what our clients are doing. So I like that a lot.
He actually listens to the podcast as well, so he's going to hear this and then rib me for it, I think.
Amazing.
Perfect. Right. So moving on, let's get our lab coats on. It is study time. And it's a new study that I've just read this morning, actually, which is quite an exciting little study. It came out on June the 21st. So a few days ago. But I'll just read the snippet here. And it says the title is Biodegradable Gel Shows Promise for Cartilage Regeneration, which instantly that's like really exciting, especially of what the potential it has for the future. And a gel that combines both stiffness and toughness is a step forward in the bid to create biodegradable implants for joint injuries, according to new UBC research. So this has come out of the University of British Columbia. And I'll just carry on reading the rest of the article here. Mimicking articulate cartilage found in our knee and hip joints is challenging. The cartilage is key to smooth joint movement, and damage to it can cause pain, reduced function, and lead to arthritis. One potential solution is to plant artificial scaffolds made of proteins that help the cartilage regenerate itself as the scaffold biodegrades. How well the cartilage regenerates is linked to how well a scaffold can mimic the biological properties of cartilage, and to date, researchers have struggled to combine the seemingly incompatible properties of stiffness and toughness. In the study, Dr. Lee and his team developed a new approach to stiffen a protein gel without sacrificing toughness by physically tangling together the chains of a particular protein that made up the gel's network. These entangled chains can move. This is a quote, by the way. These entangled chains can move, which allows energy, for instance, the impact from jumping, to be dissipated, just like shock absorbers in bikes. In addition, we combined this with an existing method of folding and unfolding proteins, which also allows for energy dissipation. Says first off a Dr. Ling Lang Fu, who conducted the research as a doctoral student at UBC's Department of Chemistry. The resulting gel was super tough, able to resist slicing with a scalpel, and was more stiff than other protein hydrogels. Its ability to resist compression was among the highest achieved by any such gels, and compared favorably with actual articular cartilage. And the gel was able to rapidly recover its original shape after compression, as real cartilage does after jumping. So they tried this on animals, and it says here just a little bit on what it says on animals. So rabbits implanted with the gel showed notable signs of repair of articular cartilage 12 weeks after implantation, with no hydrogel remaining and no rejection of the implant by the animal's immune system. The researchers have observed bone tissue growth similar to the existing tissue and regenerated tissue close to existing cartilage for the gel implant group. Much better results than they saw with a control group. So this potentially has got some really good future prospects for injury management. Yeah, it's not just replacing a knee or a hip with something with some form of artificial metal, whatever it is they use, is actually helping regrow bone and cartilage in the places that it needs, and it's only taking about 12 weeks, and the gel helps dissipate impact, which means that potentially what that might mean is you could still function whilst having the gel in. It's almost replacing cartilage, allowing cartilage to regrow. So during that 12-week period, you could still function.
I wonder how that works. In my head, and obviously I am not clever enough to understand all this, in my head I can't work out how you can have something there. I know it's biodegradable, but how does it stay functional until the other stuff has grown back without it getting in the way? Do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's almost for me.
Go on.
For me, it's like so. Let's just use the analogy they're using with the scaffolding, because that's what it is for them. But if you imagine a real scaffolding, and then building something that was to replace the support of the scaffolding, but in and around it, how does that work without how does that work? Like, how does it replace it? Unless it's outside of where the cartilage would usually be. I don't know how it replaces it. That's what I can't work out in my head. But it's insanely clever, though.
Yeah, I guess it does the cartilage have to grow at the same rate that it's dissipating? You know what I mean? Is it have to be a kind of, as one goes, the other one takes its place?
Yeah, I don't. It depends what they mean by growing it as well, especially if it's just like completely gone. But yeah, I guess I guess it does just kind of grow itself out, and that's a feat in itself, just to match the time scale of those two things happening. My mind instantly goes to super soldiers on this. I'm not going to lie, just because that's where my head is. We've already talked about like artificial skin, artificial blood, all these other artificial things. One of the things, let's forecast 100 years in the future when this is standard, really easy to do. This is where, like, because a lot of times where people hurt themselves with steroids is where they can like damage cartilage and tendons and sinew and stuff like that, because although their muscles get strong quick, all those other tissues actually take longer to get stronger, and people can blow that sort of stuff out. So yeah, if that's not an issue anymore because you've got this fake stuff, then the sky is the limit. we could legitimately build superhumans in about 100 years. I think less than 100 years.
Yeah, also, thinking about it as well, the impact that would have on the longevity of athletes. So athletes generally only have X amount of years in them due to injury or degradation of just their bones, whatever. But if you're constantly able to keep your joints healthy and keep them in top shape by regrowing cartilage and redoing this, that, and the other, then athletes potentially are going to be hanging around for a much longer time, which makes the industry way more competitive.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, yeah, because if you've got the body of a 20-year-old still, but you're 38, shit me, that is going to be insane. And also, just for more healthy, practical reasons, like if you've got that healthy joint and you're 80 years old and you stumble and you can catch yourself more, and the cartilage is still there to help support that network, then again, you're just going to be in such a better place. But that's really interesting. That is good news for the future. I love to see how this actually plays out in the long term. I think it's good, and this is one of the things I'm starting to realize with all these studies that are coming out that we read. It's like, well, where does this all go? Like, which ones of these will get the funding to go forward? Because at the end of the day, everything we read about needs funding to be researched. So we just got to kind of hope that these good ones get that funding.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these studies will never come to fruition. A lot of this stuff is only in the early stages of testing, this and the other, and a lot of it we'll never see, and a lot of it might turn out to be bullshit. But if people keep trying all this stuff that we're seeing, even if just one or two of them come through, it's going to make a massive difference.
Yeah, it really will. And again, the rise of the super soldier. Imagine being clever enough to be able to do all of this stuff and like just testing on yourself. This could be like a superhero origin story in itself, or a super villain origin story, depending on which one. Awesome. I like it. I want some fake cartilage in my knee right now. It's hurting.
Fair enough. I mean, you are getting old.
I know.
So let's move on to the hot topic.
Let's do it. Before we start, I'm just going to pause us for 2 seconds. Listeners will be back in a sec. I need a wee.
Perfect.
And we're back. I am peed out, and I probably sound a bit different because I think I was going through the wrong microphone. But if I sound much clearer now, which, judging by the sound bar in front of me, I am looking way clearer. That is why, guys. Am I a bit loud, Josh?
Yeah, a little bit. Turn it down a little bit.
And to be fair, my gain is okay, so it might just be on your laptop. But anyway, we were just about to go into the hot topic, Josh, so why don't you lead us into it?
Yeah, so my hot topic for today is all about improving your energy levels. Now, the results I want to get out of today's hot topic is I want to help you feel more energized and help you give you the power to help you feel more energized. My drivers are because sometimes people feel like they don't have the energy just to enjoy life. They're like, I'm just tired all the time. I haven't got the get up and go to just get up and do the things that I enjoy or pursue the things I want to pursue. So our actions for this is we're going to give you the RDA Ultimate Energy Blueprint. And this is just a few things. There's the initial big 3 points to focus on, and then after that we have some supplementary stuff that are going to help improve your energy levels once you've got the big 3 in check. So that's my plan for the hot topic today. Is
I like it.
Improving your energy levels.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, buddy. So the big 3 is, as always, it's never sexy. The foundations are there, the basics are there, and if you get these 3 in check first, your life will be profoundly better. And the first out of all of them is your nutrition, and that is making sure that you're either eating at your maintenance levels at least. If you're in a deficit, your energy levels are potentially going to be a little bit lower. If you're in a fat loss phase, then you're just going to have to deal with that. But if you're not in a fat loss phase, then eat at your maintenance calories. Make sure you're eating at your maintenance and regularly as well, every single day, not just eating it 3 times a week and then it's all over the place and sporadic. Try and eat at your maintenance levels on the daily. And also then make sure you're keeping your sugars low and your protein high. If we're just cramming in sugars all the time, our energy is going to be all over the fucking place. Generally, a higher fat diet, a lower carb diet, unless we're super active all the time, you're going to have a nice, more level energy levels than if you're just carbing up non-stop and super high sugars and fast carbs. We've talked about this before. If you want to deeply go into that, then go back to our nutrition episodes at the beginning. But if you're wanting to keep regular energy levels, then keep the sugars low, keep the protein high, up the fats a little bit, and eat at your maintenance. That's the first point.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a couple of things that we can dive a little bit deeper into for that because we've got a bit of time. the keep the sugar low and the protein high, those two things, they actually play into each other quite a lot as well. So with the sugar especially, try to start your day with protein as well, because that is going to help better regulate your blood sugar levels, as well as fiber as well. So 2 things that you want to do to help regulate your blood sugar is keep your protein high and keep your fiber levels high, between 20 and 30 grams as well. That is really, really going to regulate your energy levels just through the blood sugar, because that's when we have the crashes, is when the blood sugar gets too high and then it will crash down. And this plays a lot into the next point, which Josh will get to in a second, but it will affect the way your whole day and night goes if you can get this locked in from the beginning of each day. And the other thing to think about when it comes to food and energy levels is making sure your iron levels are good. You can get a blood test for that. I use Thriver to test my blood to see where that is. And also your B vitamins as well. Make sure you're getting the good mix of B vitamins, because again, they help regulate your energy levels.
Yes, if you're trying to get the right amount of iron and B vitamins in, obviously red meat has plenty of that. So if you're a meat eater, get plenty of red meat in. If you can, steaks, mince, all of that sort of stuff. If you're vegetarian or vegan, then you're going to need to supplement this stuff in. You're going to either need to take some essential amino acids, all that sort of stuff, take some vitamins. Obviously, we'd recommend eat some fucking meat, but if you're not and you have your reasons for being vegetarian and vegan, then you need to be making sure you're supplementing these things that you're missing out on. We generally get quite a few clients who have been vegetarian or vegan, and then they're generally most of the time low in iron and B12. Some have converted, started eating meat and felt instantly better. Some have started taking supplements, and sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. Or some people have had to go to the doctor then get their full B12 shot once every now and again. That sometimes helps. Obviously, if you can get as much as you can from natural sources, the better, as always.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of what we'll find with this... Go on, sorry, carry on.
No, that's right. No, I was just agreeing with you. So yeah, crack on. Sorry, guys. There's a slight delay between me and Josh, so we sometimes talk over each other when we can't hear. But yeah, go on, Josh. I was just agreeing with you, so we're good.
Yeah, a lot of what we'll find with this energy stuff is that what we're trying to do is not substitute in things that give you energy. Instead, we're trying to take all as much of that stuff away and allow your body to naturally create the energy it does throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
So having high sugar stuff is going to is obviously going to give you a hit of energy, but then the after effects of that isn't that great. So that's why we're trying to lower that and just give you the right things for your body to just function on its own and do its own thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to take this time to say an apology to the listener, because I don't know whether you could hear it through the last microphone, but you can probably definitely hear it through this microphone. There's definitely cockerels kicking off in the background, but also it sounds like a dog is being murdered. I promise you it's not. My partner Kimberly is a groomer. She is currently grooming a dog next door, and apparently it's a howler. So I don't know if that is being picked up by the microphone. If you can hear it, the dog is absolutely fine, I'm sure. All great points you just come up with there, Josh, on that one. Nutrition is a massive part of the energy, but like you say, we are trying to not artificially create energy that you're going to have a crash from. It's trying to regulate your natural energy levels, and that is going to help massively with the next point, Josh, if you want to move on to that one.
Yeah, so point number 2 of the big 3 is get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Now, we are going to talk about this until we die. If sleep was a drug, it'd be the most expensive drug in the world. The benefits of sleep is ridiculous. 7 to 9 hours a night of sleep is super, super, super important, especially when it comes to your energy levels. It's like charging your phone. It's like charging any battery. We have our own internal battery we need to charge up. Getting some high quality sleep is really, really important if you want to keep your energy levels up.
Yeah, I agree. And I like the analogy you just said about charging your phone, because what do you do to your phone if you know you're not going to be home for a few hours, but you're starting to run low on battery? You usually put it on energy saving mode and stop using it as much. We don't want you to do that with your body. We don't want you to have to resort to that level where everything is just low. So you want to get that recharge during sleep and not have to put yourself... Well, the thing is, your body will put itself into energy saving mode to stop it from conking out, basically. So you want to get that sleep to get the full recovery, to let the body do all the repairs it can, so you can live each day to the fullest.
Yeah, I mean, sleep is so important. So you've heard me harp on about Brian Johnson multiple times, but he says he's got a video out about his sleep routine, and he says sleep has been the most important thing about his blueprint, about the whole longevity blueprint is sleep is one of the most important things outside of just testing everything. Sleep is the thing they focus on the most in getting perfect sleep. So really making sure you're focusing on that. We have a full episode on sleep, 2 episodes on sleep. Actually, we have a 2-parter on sleep and how to get better sleep and the importance of it. So make sure you go back and check them out. But what I would suggest is if you're struggling to get better sleep, try and sleep the same times every day if you can, or within the same kind of range every day. Sack your phones off just an hour or 2 before you go to sleep. And make sure you wind yourself down for sleep, and that will help you get better night's sleep each night. That's a good little few quick rules to go by.
Yeah, and that's really good. And another episode that might help with this one is the stress episode as well, and check out our stress less protocol. If you're listening to this on day of release, just scroll back in the Facebook group for a week and you'll see our live training on stress as well. So that will all help with this sleep, because we go into the sleep on that too.
Yeah, definitely. So point number 3 of the big 3 is to get moving as soon as you can. So first thing in the morning, if you have the time, before you go to work, whatever you do, get moving. And I don't mean you have to work out. You don't have to work out, but getting up, going for a walk straight away, getting out in the sunlight, if you have the ability to do that wherever you are, getting up, if you live in a block of flats, just go down all the way down to the bottom of the stairs, come all the way back up. Whatever it is you do, get moving straight away. That's the first thing you want to do. Do that before anything else. That's going to really help get your system awake. It's also going to help allow the mind to wake up in the right way, rather than like, what's the first thing I imagine most people do nowadays is the first thing they do is they wake up, obviously after they've had a piss, clean their teeth, whatever, they look at their phone and they sit on their phone, and then that's essentially where how you end up living the rest of your day, is you're being followed by the phone. But usually the first thing you do at the start of the day dictates the rest of your day. So if you get up and move first thing, you're going to want to move more for the rest of the day. So get up and do that. Get up, get outside. And there's so many different things about the different research and about all the physiological benefits of getting outside and walking first thing in the day. Things about just stuff traveling past your eyes, sunlight, all of that. There's so many benefits that there's no reason not to. So if you get up, get out, go for a 10-minute walk, come back, then have your breakfast, do all of that sort of stuff, that you're going to feel so much more energized and ready to go.
Yeah, and looking into our episode on sleep, we go into this because it really does. One of the biggest things about this is it helps set your circadian rhythm, which is what regulates your sleep. So that just, it kind of predetermines the relationship between like cortisol and melatonin, which is what regulates your stress and your sleep. So if you can get that sorted out as soon as possible, that will really help out. And if you're in the UK listening to this, this is the time to get this locked in, because you want this locked in before the winter, because in the winter you're not going to want to get up early. So if you can get it locked in as a habit now, and we're recording this is pretty much July, when this episode releases it will be just coming into the July. Get out now while there's light in the morning, while it's nice weather, because the sooner you can set it as a habit, the more likely you are to carry it on even in the winter. And even if it is winter and you can still get out and you're getting outside, you are still getting sunlight through the clouds as well. If you can't get outdoors, then movement on itself is really good, but if you can get movement outdoors, then that just makes it so much better. So do what you can to try to achieve that, guys, as close to waking up as possible.
Definitely. So those are the 3 big points to focus on first: is eating, getting your nutrition in check. So eating at your maintenance, keeping your sugar low, your protein high, adding in fiber, all of those things. Getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and get moving as soon as you can. As soon as you wake up, try and get moving. Those are the things you focus on first. Once you get those in check, once you get those sorted and they become habit, then you can start adding the next 5 supplementary points I put in. So the next 5 points are supplementary stuff you can add in and do, and they will help with the rest of this. And the first point of these supplementary stuff is don't drink coffee or eat for the first 90 minutes of the day. And this is a one that so many people struggle with, especially the not drinking coffee first thing. That's a lot of people's go-to, is straight to the coffee machine, turn that on, or whatever it is you have, and make a coffee as soon as they wake up. Try not to do that. Try not to drink coffee or eat for the first 90 minutes of the day. And the reason for this is that your body naturally spikes adrenaline when you first wake up in the morning. Your body naturally does this. And if you start drinking coffee and eating, it kind of gets rid of that response. So, and you have a great quote for this, which I'll let you say in a minute, Jack, but if you can try and avoid that, then one, you're going to then spike everything again when it starts to peter off. So then you're more likely to miss that afternoon slump. But also it's going to allow your body to naturally do what it wants to do.
Yeah, that's perfect. I think the quote was the alarm one, basically. So is that the one you're getting at? Yeah. So the way I read it in a book by what's his name, the founder of On It, I can't remember his name. Aubrey Marcus. It was called The Perfect Day. The difference between waking yourself up with caffeine versus waking up naturally is a difference between waking up to birdsong and waking up to a fire alarm. You don't want to put your body under that stress signal of waking up to a fire alarm with the caffeine hit. You want to wake it up naturally, let all the systems do their thing, and it's just going to be a much better way for your body to wake up. Now, there is a reason, though, that this is in the supplementary side as well, because the coffee one, I reckon everybody should try and do that regardless, not have a coffee for the first 90 minutes of the day. The food one is a bit of an interesting one because although it's perfectly right, you shouldn't try to eat for the first 90 minutes of a day. If you are someone that has breakfast, and it means if you can't eat for the first 90 minutes, then you have to skip breakfast, then just eat. Just have your breakfast. This is in the supplementary side of things. If you need to get that breakfast in, then do so. But if you are in a place where you can wait for that 90 minutes, then definitely do so, and you will notice a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. If you've got the ability to do it, but I understand, like you said, if it's the only time that you're going to be able to get in a certain amount of calories that you need, then eat if you have to. I just realized my dog's in the background biting her own ass on video, so that's interesting.
Good. It's good for the viewers to see.
Yeah, lovely.
Cool. What we got next, Josh, on the supplementary side of things?
So this, on the supplementary side of stuff, so this actually is a practice you can do if you are feeling pretty tired. You're a bit stressed, or maybe you've had a couple of late nights, or you've just been super busy, and you have a spare 10 minutes. And if you're feeling like this, you can try these two things, and it's called either NSDR or Yoga Nidra. So NSDR is non-sleep deep rest. And anybody that's listened to Andrew Huberman will probably know about this. He talks about this quite a lot. He also has a video where he kind of walks you through a practice of this for 10 minutes. So you can just go and find that and do it. Yoga Nidra is basically the same thing. And it's just a type of meditation that allows you to completely relax the body and put you in a state of rest. Essentially, it puts you in a state similar to sleep for 10 minutes. And I can never remember the numbers, but the number is something like 10 minutes of NSDR is similar to like 3 hours of sleep or something along those lines. I don't know if I give that much. I don't know if I truly lean into that, but it does have a good impact in allowing your body to rest when you need to. And then whenever I've done it, if I have to really need to focus on work, I found that I did it the other night. Actually, I did 10 minutes. It cleared my head and it allowed me to focus afterwards.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, out of all of these things, that is the thing that I probably need to do the most. I can't nap. I've had this conversation with you many times, Josh. For me to try to nap, it takes me about 45 minutes just to be able to kind of fall asleep. And then I feel like I'm drowsing off. Then I sit bolt upright, and then it's just fucked, and I'm pissed off because I haven't been able to do what I set out to do, which is have a nap. So the NSDR is something that I really want to start implementing. I'm gonna try to do that, especially if it does, even if it's half as effective as it's reported to be, then it's going to be of a big help to me because we work long days. We're up before 6 o'clock in the morning, and usually we don't get home until around about the 8 p.m. mark. So in that time, I would like to see if I could get like 15 minutes of that NSDR in, just to see if I can really chill out and come back feeling refreshed from it.
Yeah, what we'll do is I've put it in the show notes here, so we can if we can put the link in the
show notes. I'll do that
in the show notes of the episode. So this is a YouTube link to Andrew Huberman's NSDR on YouTube, and it's really simple. He walks you through the whole thing. It's really easy. It only takes 10 minutes. It's really good. I definitely suggest people to try it. I find it does massively help. So yeah, give it a go and see what you think, man, and let us know how you found it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that.
So the next point on our supplementary stuff, this one is not for the faint-hearted, and this one may require a piece of kit, or to live near the sea, or to live somewhere cold, and that is to try cold water exposure first thing. Now, this one, we've talked about cold water exposure in terms of its metabolic effects, but actually its metabolic effects are basically the same as creating energy, because what it does is spike your adrenaline and get you to feel more energized and get your body moving more. So trying some cold water exposure will increase your focus and get you wanting to do more work. This is actually another Huberman thing, and I looked at his whole his morning routine for the most focus and productivity, and this is one of the things he does this every morning in terms to get him ready to go for the day and get him kind of more linear in his focus. So if you're wanting a bit more energy, first thing after you go out for your walk, all of that sort of stuff, doing a quick cold plunge for 2 minutes, or having a cold shower at the end of your shower, that's going to get you pumped and ready to go. I every now and again with a few people, we go sea swimming first thing in the morning at 6 a.m. Every time I do that and it's cold, I come out of that feeling energized and pumped. I feel the rest of that day is usually really, really good.
Yeah, and even if it's like a cold dunk, like at the gym I used to go to, I would do the ice bucket and just pour that over my head. And even that would make you feel, yes, okay, right, there's everything fired up now, I'm good to go. I've actually just been toying with the idea, just in the last 2 minutes. I wonder, because I haven't got any neighbors that can see me from my front door. I wonder if I could rig up a system where I just stand outside my front door and tip a bucket of water over my head by pulling on a chain. That would be a nice way to wake myself
probably
up. Yeah. I've actually, because usually I shower the night before, so I don't have to do it in the morning. But I've actually started showering in the morning again more recently, and I should just finish off with that cold shower. And it's just overcoming that discomfort.
It's gross.
Once you're used to it, it is gross. Yeah. It is fucking disgusting. But it's, the benefits do outweigh it, and I just got to stop being a little bitch and actually do it, I guess, to wake myself up.
Yeah, you pussy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. No, cold showers, for some reason for me, I would cold plunge every day of the week over a cold shower. Cold showers are way worse, I think.
Yeah, because the movement of the water is constant. In a cold plunge, the still water does make a difference compared to constantly moving water.
Yeah. So this next point is more about mindset than it is about the physiological aspects. And this is I really like this one because it's something that people never do. And I think day-to-day life can get you a bit bogged down and can demotivate you. But what I suggest you do is you do something you are passionate about at least once a day. Something that drives you, something that gets you excited. And this can be a hobby, or this could be something that's propelling you in your career, or it could be anything, but something that you are passionate about. If you do that at least once a day, you're that's going to give you an energy boost. We've all had it where we've done something that's really exciting, and afterwards we've had loads of energy and been super pumped because that we care about it and it's motivated us and all of that sort of stuff. So do something every single day, even no matter how small it is, that you are passionate about, and you'll come out of the other side of that feeling really, really good and ready to take the rest of the day on.
I'm gonna frame this a slightly different way, and this is for the people who say, "Oh, I don't know what I'm passionate about." I'm gonna say, get out there and do something that scares you every day. Even if it is just going up and talking to someone new, speaking to a stranger, just doing something for your business, making a cold call for your business, anything that gives you slight anxiety, but not to the point of being frozen with fear. Something that is just a slight, oh my God, am I actually doing this? But in a good way. If you can do that, that is also going to have the same effect. It will bring you up. Like when I used to have to do cold calls, that was quite interesting, especially if it was a big client I was calling for. The other thing I remember I was selling disgustingly bad supplements at some point, which I've spoken about on an earlier episode. I'm not going to go into it now. But one of the things we had to do with that was approach random people. And I just remember being in a service station, seeing a whole table full of cops. And I went up to them and started speaking about it and started asking about their training and nutrition. I was like, well, this will be fun. And I just went up and started talking to them. And I felt pumped after that because they didn't tell me to fuck off. They didn't tell me to go away. I had a good conversation with them. What's the worst that's going to happen at the end of the day? But you don't feel like that on the approach. It is quite a daunting thing. It was really good. That spiked it up. But the thing about doing that sort of thing, doing something that scares you, and ultimately that feeling of being afraid can also be interpreted as being excited. You will probably find something you're passionate about while you're doing that as well. And this could be a physical thing, like, I don't know, if you go to the extremes, like doing a skydive, but if just do something physical that might scare you a little bit as well. That sort of thing, that can fire up some serious adrenaline, some serious energy levels. If you do take it too far, it can also knock you out about an hour later, so don't go crazy with it, but just try to, if you don't know what you're passionate about, do something that makes you think, oh my God, I'm doing this once a day as well, and they kind of have the same effects.
Yeah, I love it. It's great. It's great. It's absolutely brilliant. So the last point here on how to improve of the supplementary stuff for improving your energy levels is get outside as often as you can. There's nothing worse for sapping your energy than just being inside all fucking day. Try and get outside as often as you can. If you work a 9 to 5 in an office, on your lunch break, get outside. On your morning tea break, get outside. If you can, if you've got a meeting on a phone, get outside. Do it outside. As much as you can, get outside, get some fresh air in, get the sun on your face, especially this time of year. It's perfect. Be outside as often as you can. That really does make a massive difference to your energy levels.
Yeah, in the live training we done last night, and again, that'll be last week if you're listening to this on day of release, we did have a conversation about language and the questions you ask yourself. And one of the things you can definitely ask yourself is, can I do this outside? If you've got a meeting with people, can that be done outside? Can you walk? And if you say, no, it can't, can it really not? Or are you just telling yourself you can't because it's not the way you're used to doing things? So if you can actually move something outside, especially if it's a meeting, then that is going to be way more productive. But even if it's not a meeting, can you take that call outside, like you just said? Can you go eat your lunch outside or take your coffee break outside? As many opportunities as you can, just say, can this be done outside? And if it can, then go fucking do it outside because it's going to make you feel better.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely. So, I mean, we've given you a lot of stuff here. I'm just going to quickly run through them all again. But first three, so if you are wanting to improve your energy levels, focus on these big three first. And that is your nutrition is number one, making sure you're eating at your maintenance, keeping your sugars low, keeping your protein high, and eating plenty of fiber, 20 to 30 grams of fiber a day. Then get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night, and then get moving as soon as you can first thing in the morning. So get up and get moving. They're your big three. Then after that, we have our 5 supplementary points. And our supplementary points are don't drink coffee or eat for the first 90 minutes of the day. Number 2 is if you are feeling tired, try some NSDR or Yoga Nidra, and they are the NSDR YouTube clip is in the show notes. Number 3 is tried cold water exposure first thing in the morning. Number 4 is do something you are passionate about or something that scares you at least once a day. That's really going to get you energized. And now, last point, but not least, is get outside as often as you can. And then ask yourself the question, can I do this outside?
Perfect. I love it, Josh. Where can these guys find us if they want to know more, Josh?
Well, they can find us at the RDA system on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. The RDA system on Twitter, and they can find our website at theliftinglounge.com or theRDAsystem.com. And they can find me at Josh from the Lifting Lounge on Instagram and TikTok. They can find you at Jack from the Lifting Lounge at Instagram and TikTok. And they can find our Facebook group if they search the Lifting Lounge on Facebook. Our Facebook group is there to join. And most of these socials as well have a link tree on there for you to be able to find every one of the other one anyway. So all you have to do is go to one of our socials and you can find the rest.
I was going to say, if we had any more, that section's going to be just as long as the fucking hot topic, just reading off all the stuff we're available on. But guys, we haven't got an excuse not to find us. Also, check out, Josh has been writing some blog posts recently. They're excellent. Go check them out because they're really informative, very helpful, and it's something you can have in front of you and refer to constantly. So that's really good. And guys, no matter where you watch us or listen to us or just take in our information, please leave us a 5-star review, share us around, and like and subscribe, all that jazz, because it helps us get further ahead with where we want to be. The further ahead we get, the further ahead you get. We like providing value.
I keep forgetting that. We're on fucking YouTube.
We're on YouTube. We are on YouTube. Yeah. Before we completely sign out, Josh, is there anything you want to say or do? I'm just checking.
I nearly forgot.
This has been a long episode. Give me 2 seconds. Is like one of our longer episodes as well. This is like an hour and a quarter so far.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. If you have made it to this point, well done. And you have, this is your reward for making it this far. Let's play carpenter. First we'll get hammered, then I'll nail you.
I mean, you kind of looked me directly in the eye as you said that. I'm not too keen.
Don't lie.
Guys, if you find Josh attractive, just take a snippet of that and listen to it over and over again, and you can live out your fantasy. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Not that much of a pleasure, Josh. It's been a pleasure, guys. Take it easy. We will speak to you for the next episode.
Bye.
Bye for now.